Good evening, campers, dreamers, and babysitters, and welcome to our review of Hellraiser.
What is it you pray for?
Alrighty, so this has been something we've been anticipating. We've been definitely looking forward to this. We did the Hellraiser podcast just last Monday. So, it was one of those things where we were kind of really building up to this. This was exciting. I think we're both fans of The Night House.
Yes.
And definitely, so we like the writer and director of that. I also really enjoyed The Ritual. I don't remember. Did you saw The Ritual?
I did. I remember we both were not high on it when it first came out. I have not yet revisited it. I do want to go back now that you're speaking highly of it, because, it was a one and done viewing. So it's one I've wanted to revisit and have not actually jumped on board yet.
Yeah, I went back on that one and I watched it just a few months ago, and I actually really found myself liking a lot more elements to it. It's just one of those ones I think that, the initial shock of it, you're expecting so much, but it almost feels like it under delivers. But then, going back, knowing what I think I got a lot more out of it. But I'm not here to talk about The Ritual. We're here to talk about Hellraiser 2022. So, Luke, give me your first initial impressions. We're doing a spoiler-free review here for you guys. So, what are you thinking of Hellraiser?
I thought it was good. Didn't wow me like I was hoping, but maybe I put way too many expectations on this. I know we did the original Hellraiser. We've talked about this quite a bit on the Sunday Scaries, with all the updates and all the images, and then we did the trailer breakdown. So there was a lot of anticipation put on this. I don't know if that maybe was affecting this viewing. Also, this was released at midnight, so that's kind of another thing. But I wouldn't say underwhelmed. I would just say, right in the middle for me right now. Didn't wow me. I didn't think it was bad at all. I just have to give this another viewing, I think.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I definitely think that I really think that again, just for context, we've had a busy night with just seeing Terrifier and then coming home and watching this. So it's just kind of been like it's currently 3:30 in the morning for us to be reviewing this and finishing this up. So it's one of those things where it's just like I definitely do want to give this another watch because there's a lot more to chew on this than I thought there would be. Especially because like I think they're the new elements that they add to this story. I thought that they were pretty simplistic at first, but kind of as they started layering it on, there was a lot of stuff in here I did not expect, and I did
Yeah.
enjoy that aspect to it. Like, I can't get into specifics with spoilers, but like, there's elements involving a house and kind of like what we saw in the trailer with the walls and stuff that
Yeah.
when that started to kind of kick over, I was like, ooh, that's interesting. I like that. I do. The one thing I got to say I do really enjoy is the new additions to the box in a sense of how the Cenobites are called upon. I thought that was really cool. I like how they use that element. It adds a lot of great tension to things because it's like when that little blade is exposed, you're just like, oh my God, no, like don't cut yourself, like, that kind of thing. Because once you've been cut and your blood is marked, essentially, is how it works now. And it's just like, I thought that was a really smart way to tell the story and really brought some cool new ways to kind of build tension to it.
And in a franchise where, I mean, it's no secret this thing has been in the gutter for a while. It really feels like that there was actual thought put behind
Oh,
this
yeah.
story. And I thought the story was really well done. That was not a gripe for me at all. There's more so, I guess you would say, I don't know if you want to call it a twist, but a little alteration in the story a little bit later on in the film, and I think that's really where it takes off. Other than that, like one of the things I don't know if it is maybe like you had said, we did go see Terrifier, which is heavy in practical effects. I know I did mention it weeks ago where I felt like maybe the Hell Priestess, the new Pinhead looked a little too clean for me. And I noticed myself noticing a lot of the CGI in this. So for me, that was kind of a big thing where I don't know if this will affect my viewing in the future, I guess, because how outdated CGI becomes. I feel like this is teetering on could become a victim in a few years of its CGI.
And I don't know if that necessarily bugged me. I think going back to the first one, with how practical they had and how they had to rely on that, like, yeah, I definitely get what you're saying. It's more noticeable, I would say, especially with the chains. I mean, the chains are kind of iconic at this point with the franchise of like you getting strung up and everything, and they are CG. I think basically every time. I don't think there is a single
Yeah,
practical use of chains. So it's like in that aspect, I could get it. And like I guess looking clean. I don't know. I was just so caught up in the detail with them of just like their, the way their skin was shaved in different places and, how that worked out. And, we don't see throughout the film, we don't see a ton of them until we really start to get down to that third act. Like once I think basically a reveal is made, um, or a choice is made for our main character where they have to start making decisions rather quickly. Otherwise, they'll be reaping some more consequences, and it's pretty intense. And I think that is kind of where they start to show up a lot more. And in that
yeah,
sense, I could see what you're saying about them looking pretty clean and stuff like that. But they are still effective. And I think that, as far as what we've gotten and what I know of the series, because again, I'm not a huge expert on the Hellraiser series, but it is one of those things where it's like, I would definitely take this over any of the stuff we've been getting over the last few years because it's definitely of that higher standard, higher quality. And I am excited to revisit this one. I feel like um even just after my first initial viewing, I feel like if I go back now that I've kind of exposed myself again to it, like the ritual, I feel like I'll pull a lot more from it now that I kind of, the initial impression has been made. I understand where the story goes, what we're doing, so I can just kind of take that in and get used to it.
yeah. And I don't think this is a comparison really in terms of a lot of the garbage that we did get with the Hellraiser franchise. So this one is way above those. I'll definitely say that. I'm only coming off a viewing of the original and then Hellbound Hellraiser 2. So those are the only things that I have to compare this with, to be honest. And I don't know if it is that kind of intimacy that I enjoy from the original Hellraiser, where I felt like maybe this one was lacking a little bit of that. I don't know if the world just felt a little too big for me right now. But like, especially with the Doug Bradley portrayal, you kind of get that kind of, it is closed off. It is in a house. It's a one-on-one interaction. And, I think I was specifically thinking of it was lacking intimacy when our main character is out and about and Pinhead shows up and it's kind of outside of the realm. And I was like, I don't know if this feels as much tension as I had gotten in that original one. And again, this is way better than anything that we've gotten post, two. Um, so I'm not kind of black marking it based on, oh, this isn't as good as 3 or 4 or any of those. I mean, I haven't really seen them, but this one again, I don't know if I put too many expectations on it. I think honestly, my biggest issue is with the visuals. I think the storytelling is great.
Yeah,
Uh, I think they actually put characters in this. It feels like, if you take out the Cenobites and the Hellraiser storyline, this still could be a story in itself. Just with the characters that are there. So I think it was a smart play to kind of build a story around your characters and then drop the Cenobites in. Like again, we haven't really seen anything post two, but I know they kind of move in that third one we had talked about on Sunday Scaries, where Pinhead more so becomes the slasher that they wanted out of the franchise. Where this one again seems like a story, with the Cenobites kind of coming in as that little extra garnish, you know.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I think that the characters are really one of the big standouts for me. Is like I actually genuinely care about like the entirety of our main cast. Like
Yeah,
there are certain things that when they start getting taken out, as we do with this, they it's you genuinely do feel for them, and you are a little bit like when that knife does affect somebody, you're just like, oh fuck, you know what I mean? Like it's kind of like, well, there we go. Um, and then I love the anticipation of just how it's going to go down, what's going to happen. And just like seeing I thought it was cool seeing the aftermath. There's a specific, uh, I guess you'd say, kill involving a van. I thought was really effective and really well done. Um, and overall, I would just say that it was just, if you're talking about the visuals being a drawback, I could see that. Again, I want to watch it again with a little bit more clarity, with a little bit more attention to that.
yeah,
Because again, for me, that stuff doesn't bother me as much. I know for you that like CGI and things like that, you tend to lean a little heavier on that, the fact that this could look dated a little bit. I watch a bunch of garbage where it already looks dated, so it's just kind of one of those things where I'm just kind of like out of sight, out of mind, until like it's something really in my face, I guess I should say.
yeah,
But it is one of those things where it's like I will pay attention to that more on my next viewing. But I mean, overall, I gotta say, I enjoyed this. I think that I wasn't expecting this to knock my socks off. I was expecting it to be great, and I think that's what I got. I mean, like I'm excited again to give it another watch without being as tired, without it being 3 o'clock in the morning. I definitely wanted to get this review up and everything, but I want to kind of give myself a little bit more of space with being a little bit more awake and just kind of really dive deep into it. So I think that this is going to warrant a second spoiler review where we can kind of dive deep in there,
absolutely.
because there's a lot of stuff I want to talk about, but we just can't right now because I don't want to, give away so much, especially in that third act and that ending. I have a lot of theories about that. So,
Yeah,
I think that, if you've been waiting for a great Hellraiser movie, I think that this is as close as we're going to get right now, and I think they succeeded. I mean, I think the writers and directors, they really took their time. You can tell there's a lot of care here, and I think that they pieced together something that is really of merit, and I think goes right up there with those first two Hellraiser films.
yes,
And I'm excited to see if this continues. I would really think that I'd like to see these guys maybe come back and shepherd another one. Maybe it doesn't have to be the same director, but at least get those writers back to see what more can they do to kind of keep this thing going. Because again, not to spoil anything, the ending does kind of leave you with the spot of like, okay, well, there looks like there could be some more here. So
yeah. It looks like the intention is to tell more Hellraiser stories and expand the universe. And it's like one of those things where looking at what the franchise had become, those very much were one and done kind of films where it's like, well, just get the next one out and then we'll worry about the next one after that, when the time comes. Where this one actually does feel like the writers have a direction they want to take this in. So it's very exciting, where this hasn't been a viable franchise for so long, and now it looks like there's going to be some sort of long form storytelling. And I mean, this going straight to Hulu, I really feel like um, I really feel like we could get another one straight to Hulu again, to kind of let it take that space, which I would be absolutely for. Yeah, overall, I think this is a great companion piece to the first two Hellraiser films. It feels really in line with it. And I do like the intimacy of that first one. I don't know um if it's just the kind of Doug Bradley portrayal of how they've set up Pinhead in the instances that we do see him on screen. And with this one, I do think it lacks that intimacy of the interactions with Pinhead, but I do enjoy the expansion of kind of taking advantage of what the Cenobites can do, of
mhm.
the kind of opening of walls and just appearing, those types of things where I think that the original kind of misses out on. Obviously, that was not in the budget to do so. So I do. This is what I've been wanting in my Hellraiser franchise. Kind of really taking advantage of realms and different things like that. So I was very intrigued to see that type of stuff. So I can't wait to see more of that if this franchise continues, which I do believe it will. So overall, I think this was a great course correct for the franchise. I mean, we got it with Prey. We're getting it now here with Hellraiser. So I mean, Hulu is really on course right now. I'm very excited to see what is next here. I don't think a lot of people have said that in a long time with the Hellraiser film to say it's got you excited to see what will be coming next. So I really can't wait. I do want to watch this again. We can really pick it apart. I think that, yeah, CGI does bother me a little bit, but I don't think it's going to affect my, I guess, rewatchability, at least for the near future anyway.
Absolutely. But alrighty, guys, I think that's about everything we can say right now. We will definitely be talking a little bit more about this flick here in the future. Again, I want to kind of dive into some spoilers, so maybe we'll release a little companion video this weekend sometime. Just kind of diving into some of the specifics and everything. So that way you guys get a chance to watch it. So if you did check it out today or you're checking it out tonight, let us know what you guys thought. Obviously, let's keep it spoiler free in the comments. I want everybody to be able to participate in this one. And we'll save that for later. But yeah, so I guess that about wraps us up here. If you do want to check out our other content or follow us on our social medias, you can at Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at SplattercastPod, as well as if you think we deserve it, we're doing a good enough job here for you and you like our takes, you can go ahead and hit subscribe. And other than that, we'll be having a Terrifier 2 review that just posted before this one here, so check that out. That was definitely a bit of a surprise as well as our Chucky Season 2 Episode 1 review that was just posted yesterday. So
And a lot more to come.
Oh, absolutely. And we are in the midst of Splatterthon right now, which is our Halloween celebration, if you didn't already know. And we are doing a giveaway. So there's a link down below for you to enter, and you can take a look at that, where we'll be giving away a Splatterthon mug, as well as a copy of the Black Phone on Blu-ray. So definitely enter into that if you want it. And yeah, so I guess that's going to wrap us up here for Hellraiser. So I guess, Luke, you got anything you want to leave them with?
No, I'm definitely excited for my second viewing of the new Hellraiser. I think the first one was a success, and boy, we are right into it. A lot more to do this weekend.
Oh, yeah, lots going on. But alrighty, guys. Until next time, I'm Dylan Newell.
And I'm Luke Janesco.
And remember, stay scared.